Today, Radwa tells her story about how her child was diagnosed with autism and she found herself pursuing this behavior analytic career. She's responsible for a lot of things that are going on when it comes to social media, spreading awareness and disseminating accurate information about behavior analysis. And for the majority of you that are viewing from the US, I asked you to consider watching today to just get a different perspective of what it's like in a different country under a different system and what's going on, the pressures that people are facing, because it's very easy to get caught up in our day-to-day, vent online about things that are going on in our neck of the woods, but when you put those in relation to other people's problems, I think you can get a bigger, stronger sense of community, and we could unify this field a little bit more. One thing that I shared yesterday was something like this lens that I'm recording on right now. It costs the equivalent of an entire year's salary for someone that's providing services over in Egypt, which is just like mind-blowing. As I mentioned, Radwa spends a lot of time translating information into Arabic, and she was the first certificate holder from the BCBA that was in Egypt, and there's a big development of how to handle that and what's going on. So today's goal, listen to somebody else's perspective, understand their situation from their shoes as much as you possibly can. You have an interesting story of getting into behavior analysis. It was through your son, correct?
Yeah.
When was that? What was that story, if you want to share?
Yeah, this started like when I traveled to the US in 2007.
Okay.
And then I was exposed or my son, he went to a very good center over there, and they taught him first using the PECs because he was like nonverbal. He has also the speech apraxia.
Yeah.
And I saw them that they are working using the principles of ABA.
Okay.
And he was having problems with waiting skills and like crying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I learned about ABA there. And then I started working when I finished, like I stayed over there maybe like a year and a half to 2 years. And then after that, because I saw progress with my son with implementing these procedures, so then after we finished the USA, we went to the Saudi Arabia. There was no services, no ABA, nothing. This was, nothing at all. I worked with my son at home for 2 complete years. And the program was updated from a BCBA from Miami.
Okay.
So she sent me the program, I worked with my son, I scored, and then I sent her, and then she updated me with another program.
Yeah.
Until I started to figure out, so why I'm not studying. So
yeah.
So if there's a science out there,
yeah,
exactly. And this was in like 2010. I started 2010.
Okay.
And then I started with the Florida Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
I completed the 3 courses there.
Nice.
Then, or like before, it was 3 courses. I think now they are 5.
Yeah. For the BCBA, right?
Exactly,
correct.
Yeah. And then I finished and passed all the courses, and then also I took my supervision hours. It was with the company JKP Analyst, if it's allowed to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was good experience.
Yeah.
And then by this time also we went back to Cairo, and I continue all of this, my experience in Cairo. And then after that, in Egypt we don't have testing centers. So I traveled to Abu Dhabi, which is the nearest one, to take the exam. And then I passed the exam in 2016.
Okay.
I also before that time, I started taking more kids. I started expanding my experience. And now also maybe more than 1 year now, I started my master's degree in ADN autism through the State College.
Yeah.
And also it's interesting. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Now. Yeah.
So you're really similar to I in the sense of we both have, excuse me, we both have this interest in different things every day, right? Like not the same set schedule. And that's what you do here, right? Like there's some in-home, there's some in-center, there's some in school, right? Like you have a little bit of different things that you do every day?
Yes, exactly, yeah. So with my new experience that I'm having now, I work with different kids, I train the parents, sometimes with kids with problem behavior, I can go to their school, I can talk to the teachers. So I feel this experience, it's add to my knowledge and add to my practitioner, when I work as a practitioner also with other kids. So I think it's different experience, and I love this diversity, working and taking ABA to the school, to the parents, so they get exposed, because here in Egypt still also we don't have this awareness about ABA and how to implement it the right way, and hopefully it's coming.
Yeah.
With
So
getting more people certified. And
yeah. So what are some of the difficulties specifically in Egypt like that? So it sounds like awareness is a big one that I keep hearing, of just like making it more known in the community and the culture at large that autism is a thing. Is that correct? Or
yes, you are correct. Yes, one of the difficulties that I'm seeing and facing is that like sometimes once they got the diagnosis with autism, some people or many people, they thought that maybe medication can help. So they just go to the doctors, like neurologists, psychiatric, whatever, and then they start. And also we have this knowledge for the doctors, that maybe autism, it can be treated with medication. So they say like, okay, let's take the medication, and with the medication, give the therapy. They don't think about like, let's start with the therapy or AA first, and then maybe if it didn't work or whatever, we can try medication. So we don't have this. So I think it's very important that we spread awareness about autism is not treated by medication, and the kids that they need medication, only those who are very, very severe, like they engage in self-injurious behavior, or like they do like a very other severe behaviors, and also it has to be like recommended by a physician. It's not like we just once get diagnosed, he has to get medication. So I think this is something we need to work on here in Egypt.
Are there other things like that I guess are, so there's medications, one of them. Is there other areas like that too? Like
other area also that I think also we need to have some sort of regulations to who is going to deliver services to those kids, because here also because we don't have still the mentality of being certified, and the one that should work with my son is a BCBA or BCAB who put the programs. Still anyone can go put the programs.
None of that's there, right? None of that's there.
It's not there.
It's whoever says that they can do it. If it's believed that they can do it, they can do it, right?
Exactly, yes. So there's no licensure, there's no like
certification,
so nothing. So anyone like want to go, like let me open a small center and get anyone who maybe like study whatever, and then work with the kids. And this is something, it's a lot in our country, unfortunately, and we need to work on that too.
Are you leading any efforts like that, or like what's being done, I guess, towards those sort of, or are you guys looking for help as a group?
I thought that the best thing that I can approach more people is through social media. This is my thoughts. And because I work alone, and I'm a freelancer, and also I got my certification, and I'm happy with one thing. I'm happy also that I feel that I brought certification to Egypt, because I was the first one who got certified in 2016 here in Egypt. So this is something good. So many people start to asking, what is this? What do I do in order to get certified? So what's the levels? So from here it comes, So I created the Facebook Egypt group. And then I started talking about ABA, sometimes in English, sometimes in Arabic, and even more in Arabic, so people can understand. I started conducting like Zoom meetings for free, of course, so they can, more people come, more parents come. And then I thought about something else also. I thought about why not creating, nobody talk about ABA concept and terms in Arabic. So I created this YouTube channel also to take just concept and start explaining those concepts. So maybe start to understand them in Arabic, So like, for example, taking multiple stimulus with replacement, without replacement, and start talking about in Arabic. And I see people like this, and so this is one point to trying to put some effort and attract people's attention towards certification and how to implement ABA. Another thing also, or another barriers that I saw also in Egypt, people who are not like certified, or people who are not they conduct trainings, for example, people like took training of the VP map, or took training of any kind, ABLES, whatever. Instead of starting implementing them, no, they just go and give training to others. Like Dr. Megan, she was talking now, how can we give training to something that we didn't practice by our hands,
Yeah.
And it may be copyrighted or whatever. So this is also one of the barriers that we are having.
Okay.
in Egypt.
Yeah. So what are some of the differences between Egypt and other places I've gone, and specifically the US? Well, first of all, there is a ton of denial from parents that this is an issue. There's a lot of, I would say, like a sense of public shame that people think they may get as a result of having a child that is not, quote, normal. There's little to no infrastructure for people with disabilities. Different systems have their own problems, but there's a lack of complete infrastructure over there. Like we do, they struggle with integrity issues. The quality programs, services, models out there is a big focus by everybody right now. It's part of the reason that Megan sponsors these trips and we share what's going on to show people what is possible. There are no regulations for the quality of services, so the whole point of our BACB infrastructure is to set a minimum standards. There are none of those. Anybody can go out there and say that they're qualified to help somebody out. The potential for fad treatments is just through the roof. And the negative impact that just poor services can have is quite possible and rampant there from my understanding. So this whole trip was sponsored by Megan Miller. If you have anyone to thank, it's either Radwa or Megan. Please do that in the comments. Show them that this is something that you found valuable if it was. And this whole project is coming together in a bigger video, I'd say, a short film on what is it like disseminating and what actually is dissemination. Oftentimes putting things in different mediums or up on social media is qualified by many as dissemination, but I think it's much more than that. We'll see in our literature and bring that together into a story from our trip there of what dissemination really is and what are some of the problems that are being faced. So if you can support this sort of stuff at all, I have this account called Patreon, patreon.com/thedailyba. It's a values-based model to where you can support and help this content continue. Last year it cost $19,000 to be able to provide this without my own time editing and creating the content included at all. And we made about half that back. So check it out. There's a values-based model, other extra tiers and supports and things like that to provide. You get to help influence the content, which I think is pretty cool, and I want to keep it that way. So thank you for your time. That's your Daily Bee.